Good morning. Welcome to Monday Morning Coffee and Chat with Hallee Bridgeman. I'm so happy you could join me. I'm coming to you from my office in Fort Knox, Kentucky. I have my cup of coffee, so I hope you have a cup of coffee or tea or whatever you drink and you have a few minutes while we chat. Whew, this was a busy weekend for me. Friday, my kids had no school, and because it is Derby week and they never have school on Oaks Day, which is the Friday before the Kentucky Derby. The Oaks is another big race. And so they stayed home. Scott had some catch-up work to do. And I went to Lexington to the University of Kentucky. My daughter's boyfriend from years, since high school, graduated from the University of Kentucky. And so we got to go celebrate with him. And then Saturday was the Derby. And it was kind of this historic Derby. It was kind of interesting, and we didn't know what was going to happen, and if you didn't see it, you missed it. But a horse won, and then 20 minutes later they said he didn't win because of just an issue, and so they granted it to the second place winner. And so that was it was insane. And then and I heard someone comment that it would be really cool if the horse, and I don't know, maximum security, I think I'm really bad with names, but, and I didn't look it up before I started talking like I ought to have, but if they went on to win, the other two big races, the Preakness and the other one to kind of show the Derby, that it would have been another Triple Crown winner. So, and I felt really bad for that jockey because it was his very first Derby. So that's my Hallee's in Kentucky moment. And then yesterday was Cinco de Mayo. And my family loves Mexican food. It's one of their favorite ethnic foods. And so we seek out like true ethnic food when we eat. And tamales are one of Greg's all-time favorite dinners. And so I made tamale. I grind dried hominy to make my mesa flour. And I use that to make corn tortillas and to make tamales. And the fresh ground flour has such a better flavor than the one that I can buy in the store. And I'm not sure what the difference is. It tastes different. Like with the fresh ground wheat, it's a different texture and it's a different everything. But it ends up being like a purer flavor, but it's still the same flavor. But with the corn, it's interesting because it's like a better flavor. So we have a brand new couple that moved into our neighborhood, and we were passing as we were coming back from the commissary, past them loading boxes into their car, and Greg stopped to say hi and invited them to dinner to our Cinco de Mayo celebration. Well, he planned to before we talked to them. And come to find out, they're from Ecuador, and their kids, they have 3 kids that are just adorable little girls. And 2 of their kids were even born in Ecuador. So they're new to America. They've been here 3 years, and this is his first duty station. And so we're really excited that we were able to connect with them. So that was a big, and lots of leftovers because I tend to cook that way. So after our Bible study last night, I came home from a youth meeting to several people in my house that Greg had invited to come and consume our leftovers. So that was nice too, because it was easier to clean up without having to put food away. So anyway, I'm a little out of it this morning. And so I was making breakfast and something got in my eye, and that's why I have no makeup on, Hallee naked, because my eyes have been watering since I cooked breakfast this morning. I made like pepper and onion eggs using some of the Mexican cheese I had, or some of the pepper jack cheese. And it was a little, something got in my eye. All right, so this morning I wanted to talk a little differently than I normally do. And it was so funny because I had it in my heart to talk about something devotional-esque with you instead of my typical writer-esque or autism-esque or whatever-esque I normally do. And I always, spend Monday morning like contemplating what I'm going to talk about and looking at all the questions that people send me and trying to decide which of the ones I want to answer. But I was really like, it was in my mind, in my heart, to talk about something devotionally. And so Greg said this morning, what are you going to talk about? And I said, I really haven't decided yet. And then he mentioned something, and it completely fit exactly what I was thinking about talking about. And it's so fun how God does that all the time. So Greg sent me an article a couple of days ago, and it was talking about how in April 2018, the country of China banned the sale of Bibles from, I know online retailers, I don't know about in person, I assume also. And the article mentioned that their intent was to stop the flood of the growth and the overwhelming growth of religion in China, which is a communist country. And so, and from what I understand, it kind of made the underground church grow even stronger and faster. And so last night in Bible study, Greg brought up that article again because it's obviously been on our hearts. We have a friend who is in his 70s, and he does mission trips where he delivers Bibles to China, and then comes home and raises money and buys more Bibles, and then goes to China and delivers Bibles. And so, there's like this hunger and this need for God's word inside this country where they're not allowed to get it. And so Greg read, I have my Bible open, Amos 8:12 says, "So people will wander from sea to sea and roam from north to east, searching for the word of the Lord. And they will not find it." And I think that in China, the church there is wandering and searching and trying to find the word of the Lord, and they're not finding it. So that prompted us to look to see what can be found on China's Amazon. And lo and behold, we were able to search for Hallee Bridgeman, and most of my books are on the Amazon website in China. And they're paperbacks, they're not ebooks, but they're there, they're available, they're for sale. And that's really amazing. And my mission statement, when I sat down in 2011, Greg and I sat down and we prayed about what it was that we wanted to do. What was the driving force behind the publishing of my books? Because I believe that God gave me the gift of storytelling. And through the gift of storytelling, I've learned how to hone my writing and improve my writing and learn how to be a better storyteller by having, solid writing skills. So, but why would God give someone the ability to, share fiction? And the answer is the same reason that Jesus used parables. It's a way to convey a message in a way that people can relate to. And so as we sat down in 2011 and prayed about how we would do what we did, we came up with my mission statement. And it was to prayerfully craft modern-day parables to uplift fellow believers and minister to seekers in our fallen world. So, sorry, the two phones just rang and it threw me off. So, to prayerfully use modern-day parables to uplift fellow believers and minister to seekers in our fallen world. In our fallen world, not in, Fort Knox, Kentucky, not in the United States of America, but globally. And so that's one of the reasons why when I do giveaways, it's always worldwide. When I open my door to, like, my birthday club, people who sign up for my newsletter have the opportunity to join my birthday club, and I send like a paper birthday card that I've written a prayer in and all this stuff, and I send it anywhere. And the international ones, it's so fun. I was toward the end of every month, my assistant gives me the stack of the international ones to see, which ones I need to mail. And it's, South Africa, Belize, lots of Canada, lots of Australia, lots of New Zealand, UK. I mean, it's globally, my birthday cards are going, which tells me if that's just a fraction of my audience, then my audience, has a huge global market. And I think that one of the reasons is because I don't not include my international readers in what I do. And so the idea that my parables and for instance, the Jewel series, and those of you who have read the Jewel series know, it's a highly evangelical book or series. Every book is written in a way to bring someone to Christ or strengthen someone's relationship with Christ. And they're deeply that way. And the idea that in a market that doesn't allow the Bible, that books that contain sermons, that contain Bible verses, that contain prayers, that contain people raised in a completely devoid of God culture who can find their way to Christ, all those things, I think that resonates with this idea that people will look to the east and west and seek the word of the Lord and not find it, but these parables are available for those who are seeking, and they can find them. I wish that we'd been able to look at the website to understand the words on it, because the Amazon Chinese website is obviously in Chinese, but to see if they were listed as Christian fiction or if they were just as fiction, or however, I would love to see what the categories therein are, because I have no way. I have a friend who's Chinese, and I might ask her to look at it for me and tell me. But anyway, so I just would like for you to keep people in prayer who come across something like that, and let God's word speak to them, even if it's not, purely God's word speaking to them, and to let those modern day parables minister to those who are seeking God's word. And that's what I had for you this morning. So I'm preparing for the Blue Ridge Christian Writers Conference that's in near Asheville, North Carolina, and it's in a couple of weeks. And so I have massive classes that I need to prepare for that. And so I need to get back to work. But you guys have a great week. And I will see you next week. God bless you.